Welcome to the Mayor Joe Taylor Show. I'm Jeff Underwood. This is Jerry White. What's up, sir?
I'm just excited to be in the presence of greatness.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to be with us today.
You're welcome.
It's so special when we get to hang out with the greatest mayor that ever mayored.
Yeah.
Joe Taylor!
There he is. Yay.
What were you doing? What's wrong with you, man?
It's
Son of a
Claps on. There's clapping right now, man.
All I know is let's not Detroit up Gadsden. That's
No.
all I know.
Okay.
Too soon for that?
How are things in Rainbow City, Mayor?
The fastest growing city in Etowah County.
I heard that. I heard that.
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah. We
good.
we look at census data, and we actually look at real numbers, and looking at census data and also in revenue accomplishment. Our revenue's doubled in the last 4.5 years, and we'll set a record this year. We'll go up an additional double digit, and then in census data, when you're adding as much housing as we're adding, you obviously, and you've got no inventory in homes and houses, which the builders need to be getting busy. You're growing, and you're growing by leaps and bounds, and that's the just our industrial development with bringing in SMD Metals and Rainbow Auction, and we've got 6-7 other big multi-million-dollar projects. The expansion at Choice Fabricators. If you take all that and put together, you can see an influx of private money coming into Rainbow City that's above the $100 million range, and that's very loosely adding it up. I mean, if we started getting down to the smaller businesses that are the 100 to $500,000 that right now we're not claiming, we're coveting those people to come to our city, and they're doing it, in droves.
I don't think people realize how big the auction's going to be.
No, they don't. They operate in hundreds of millions of dollars per month, and over $1 billion worth of total per year. That's a lot of money moving, and people will say, well, how much money do you capture? Well, you capture every person that comes inside your city is going to purchase something. Whether it's a service or they're going to utilize something in your city, whether it's buying fuel or food or it just creates a buzz. And economic development is all based on creating movement. It's just a fluid business.
I saw an article, not really an article, it was a post by some group. They're big into coffee.
Yeah.
And they're running a poll about what city in Etowah County has the best coffee. Rainbow City won.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
Look at the options.
I mean,
Yeah, and the options are growing. I mean, we're talking to a couple of brands right now that'll come in. They're national brands, or one's a regional brand, one's a national brand, and those opportunities. And the thing about coffee that I think people need to understand when it comes to economic development is that coffee is an indicator. It's an indicator of the amount of money that you have that's not committed. And so it shows a lot, and it shows a lot about your area when it comes to median income and disposable income, entertainment income.
Sure.
Coffee is actually considered at times in an entertainment category. And that being what it is, when you've got a city our size that has so many varieties of coffee vendors, you're already setting yourself apart when you're being looked at by economic developers. Locators will look at your coffee. They'll look at your
How
quick
many
service restaurants.
meetings have we all had over the years? Hey, let's just go grab a cup of coffee and talk
Right.
over this issue.
That's right.
How many people you fired over coffee?
oh wow. Wow. I do know that one day Jerry said, let's go start some trouble, so we went and got coffee.
Yeah,
We did.
that'll do it.
We did.
And then that Baptist preacher,
Yeah.
sorry buddy, I'm still apologizing to him every time I see him.
It happens.
1L.
Oh yeah, that was good stuff. The options of coffee here.
Oh good.
Everybody has a different opinion about it, which I think is great. My wife, straight Dunkin'.
Really?
She
Dunkin' guy.
loves
Okay.
some caramel craze.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Then Viva Coffee.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's an experience.
Yeah, those guys are different. Muhammad down there at Viva, he's got he just did a thing with our schools, and we called him and said, hey, you know, we'd like for you to set up for Rainbow Middle School and carry the teachers on Friday, because they've already had those kids for a full day. Let's get them a boost to push them into the weekend before they start out. And man, they did them up and brought desserts and banana pudding and all this stuff. Viva does it different. I
Yeah,
mean, they're
it's
just
different.
really, it's a good little restaurant too. You know, they've got one of the best biscuits and gravy you'll ever have. It's just,
What?
it's just
You can try
great.
that now.
Oh yeah, they're good. But
turn that game on.
he's a member of the community. I mean, he really has just
What did he give us?
injected himself in the
chocolate.
community.
Some chocolate from Jerusalem or
Yeah.
Israel, or it
Probably
was
the Dubai chocolate.
Was it that?
Yeah.
It was
It was incredible.
yeah.
it's
It was
it's
from
good.
a desert somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, how are they keeping that chocolate from melting?
I don't know, but it was fantastic. It
There's
was
something going
fantastic.
on.
Be careful.
But yeah, we have Dunkin'. You know, we have yeah. You
I just saw the comment. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The first lady. You almost got me. Almost got me.
What's she saying?
The first lady says she likes her coffee blonde, Joe.
Oh
She-
wow.
That means she likes hers from Starbucks.
Yes. Well, and she's not a huge coffee drinker, which is kind of wild because she's a finance person, you know, a
Sure.
banker, and you would think that she would be like addicted to the coffee pot, but she's not. It's just every now and then she'll take a notion for coffee.
That girl's addicted to Joe Taylor.
that's
what
right.
she
You better know
addicted
that.
to. Hey. Andrew Ford said it's Dubai chocolate.
Dubai chocolate. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about compressor of the golf ball.
Yeah.
Sorry, that
he
dude
hit it,
is
man.
just-
But I mean, the dude's 6'5". I mean, you're supposed to be able to
And
hit
seven
a golf
eighths.
ball then. Yeah. Yes.
7-8.
My personal favorite coffee here is our Mapco.
Yeah. Well, and that's
this
what I was
Mapco.
about to say. You
This
got this Mapco. Yeah, you know, you've got the Maverick that supposedly got great coffee.
Never
You know,
had it.
I've never had a cup of coffee in my life, so it's hard for me to talk about them other than the fact that they're paying taxes.
Who's
you know,
got the
so-
best Diet Coke?
Now look,
Hey, when it comes to DC,
I can tell you, there's about 3 great Diet Cokes. Number one is going to be it's McDonald's. McDonald's has got your greatest Diet Coke,
Okay,
and you know,
okay.
we'll see you in Rainbow City. You need to get down here.
Come on.
And then I think the next one is probably going to be it's Jack's, and you know they need to show their face down here too. You know, because they're behind. And then yeah, and then Fleming's Steakhouse. Yeah, they have the little Diet Coke, and in a bottle.
Okay.
And it's
that makes
and it's
sense.
every
Ice
one of
cold.
them. Yes, and they
Okay.
pop them open, pour them in.
the first lady says she's addicted to Coca-Cola Classic, a.k.a.
Red Coke.
Red Coke.
Red Coke. Now look, and she's got a little daughter. That's her little minion,
that's
and
awesome.
I'm telling you, that little girl, she loves her Red Coke too, and
Yeah.
that's what they call it. It's Red Coke.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever heard that.
I hadn't either.
she's.
I'm a coffee first. I mean that's a
That's
drink,
a fact.
but I'm big unsweet tea guy.
Oh, yeah.
Straight
Yeah, no, I'm a unsweet tea.
No, nothing in it. No fake sugars. Just
Yeah.
plain and
So you don't even add a sweetener.
no.
Okay,
Just-
that's
just-
different.
Just plain.
I'm a pink sweetener guy. Not a lot of it, but just enough to knock the bitter off. But I can go with that.
It's a lot of bitter around.
lot
Yeah,
of
there it
bitter.
is. Boy, I'm gonna
Lot
tell you,
of
I'm walking
bitter.
around with my
This
pockets
is mine.
full.
This is mine.
Okay.
Yeah, just some.
Black cherry
Okay.
water.
So where are you getting that?
This one is Walmart.
Okay.
But we have to do the Walmart delivery because I hate picking these up.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
heavy, so I have them bring them like
'Cause
20 at a
Okay,
time.
yeah.
Or Dollar General right here in Rainbow City.
But
I got you.
They have
The
black
absolute best, in my opinion, the absolute best unsweet tea, and it's not close, is Chick-fil-A.
Oh, wow.
really?
Sadly.
You know why?
Chick-fil-A has a great Diet Coke, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's because they clean their vats out or whatever that is, their urns out every night.
Okay.
I do know a couple restaurants. When you go back in the morning, it tastes like it's been there all night.
Because it has.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially that Jack's right down here by the.
Oh, it's not. No, yeah. We don't have one in Rainbow City.
No, it's not a Rainbow
No,
City
never
Jack's. It's
mind.
the one your daughter used to work at that gave me all the information on when not to go.
She doesn't work there.
She's now employed by Johnson John Food in Jacksonville.
That's right.
She said, "Come on, eat the deli."
That's right.
There's something about the unsweet tea at Chick-fil-A that's really, really good.
Where has this show gone? Where,
I don't know.
where-
We've
I
missed
think
you,
we just
Joe.
kind of went off the rails somewhere.
Well, every time you
Jeff,
bring
your
it
mom's
last time-
watching.
I can bring us back around.
Hi, Mom.
My middle daughter, or middle, She just graduated from Auburn Saturday.
Heck yeah, congratulations.
Cum laude in the School of Nursing.
Heck yeah.
She had more cords around her neck than you could ever imagine. It was unbelievable. I mean, she's just a very accomplished kid, and she'll be going to work at Children's Hospital in the cardiac intensive care.
Yeah, that's a ministry.
She's
a ministry.
She's really kind of shown out.
That's gonna be my neighbor.
She went down and just bared down. That's right. She's
Yeah,
gonna be
heck
your neighbor.
yeah.
She's in the hood, so she's excited about it.
I'm excited to
The
have her there.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's got better.
So now when I'm out on the walk and I'm thinking, man, am I having a heart attack?
Oh,
I'm just gonna
gosh.
ring her doorbell.
Hey, I'm
you do that,
I'm done.
Darby.
Help me, girl.
Help me.
She would say,
she goes,
"You gonna die.
you about
You
to
gonna
die.
die."
You better call Randy Weiss. Call me.
Yeah.
Hey, what you guys did to her home? Beautiful.
Oh yeah, you need to come look inside.
It's special.
The
The outside's
great,
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks
yeah.
great.
That one was, it's a lot of work, to take but the best houses in the world are in Druid Park and down Williams Avenue, and it's the Standard Ranch. I love the Standard
yeah,
Ranch
yeah.
because those guys were still craftsmen.
Yeah.
They still put the extra bracing and all the things in it, and we went in and just really gutted that house and opened it up, and now it's just a little show place. It's beautiful.
Well, let's get into business here
Let's do that.
because Andrew Ford said so.
Yes.
So, Mr. Ford, ZLA Solution,
Yes, sir.
a proud business in this fair city,
Thank you,
wants to
sir.
know what's new on the docket for the city plans for Q4 for Rainbow City. Funny you ask.
For the end of this quarter, we'll finish up our the Challenger Learning Center will finish up
That's
in,
awesome.
in the final quarter. Also, our recreation center, unless we keep getting days like today. I mean, now we're poured out in concrete, everything except the indoor track, and then our pool is roughed in. So we're way down the road. We're probably at about 75% completion, but it's that 25 that slows down and really starts giving you a fit. We purchased our security system yesterday through a company called Verkada, and it's a biometric camera system, and we have to. I hate to think that we do this, but we have to think along the lines of big security, because we are going to have an aquatic feature down there with our swimming pool and protecting kids continuously, and with it we can take the sexual predators in your area and put them into this system, and they will identify and notify every one of our police officers in the surrounding area.
That's so cool.
If somebody comes onto our property. And so I think it's a lot of that's born out of the fear that parents now carry around that they should not have.
That's right.
But that's going to be in the final quarter.
That's awesome.
We're breaking ground on SMD metals in Q4. Now, of course, it'll finish up probably towards the end of 26. It's a really, really big building. I think we're going to start out at about 500,000 square feet on that building, with an additional expansion that'll take them above 1 million square feet. So that'll be out close to ZLA, not far in the new industrial park. And Rainbow Auction will break ground in the next few weeks or months. They're already ready to go, and their planning has been through review and set to go. And then, what else have we got? We've got the Johnson's Giant Foods guys, and I don't remember their LLC, but Mac and his son TJ are building a multi-housing complex down behind their corporate headquarters on Sutton Bridge Road, and that's Steel Station Road, and that's another 70 or so.
Heck yeah.
Housing units. We found out that we were right and that our master plan was correct when we built the Whiteley, or when Olympia Construction came in and built Whiteley Apartments down on 77. They built 58 senior living apartments, and they're 100% with a waiting list now in occupancy. So Mac and them immediately started moving their plans forward and quickening their plans, and it's put us in a position where we're going to have some additional housing that we need so bad. We need single home housing. We need single family dwellings. You know, we need a couple of subdivisions and you know, and the opportunities there. You know, just looking at our inventory of houses day to day, you know, we don't have any housing for sale. People buy their house and stay here.
We're going to talk to you about something before you leave.
Isn't Andrew? I mean, not Andrew. Andrew, are you building homes? Sorry, he wants an introduction. He said he knows a guy that does some hiring, so he needs an introduction for the metal people, the metal plant.
Gotcha.
Trent's they're building these really nice
Yes,
cobblestone.
yes, that's right.
That was the
They're
name of
doing
it, right?
that on 77.
Yeah.
I think he's doing, I don't remember how many units now. It's gone up. It started out at a lower number, but
Yeah, it's not a ton.
yeah, I think it's maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
A couple of buildings of 8, and I think they're about to put those in the air. And so, I mean, it's just crazy. The Cat Challenger Learning Center, we went out the other day, and like their simulators ordered. They're working on some corporate sponsorships now for different rooms, and it's you can walk in now and see what they're doing.
Got a message, actually kind of mirror each other from YouTube live feed and from Facebook. I just saw one come up from there as well, talking about the traffic on Highway 411. Is there any, the Scott Cornelius posted this one on Facebook, and then they talked about it there on YouTube. Any point do you see an expansion?
Yeah, we on 411 south of the intersection, which, believe it or not, creates a relief north of the intersection of 77 and 411. We're approved by AlDOT right now, and you know, and I'm not one of the ones that blames everything on AlDOT. AlDOT's a huge machine, but we are approved for a 3-lane expansion from there to Lumley Road, which creates the ability to move on and off of that road, which right now we cannot do. It's always waiting, and then you start having the stacking problems that we have, you know, during school hours, after school hours. Now that we have the soccer, Rainbow City Soccer Complex down there, that creates an additional pressure on it, even though we're using some of the pressure relief out to 77 down Lindsay and Kinsey Road. We're ahead in our planning for infrastructure, but infrastructure takes so long. We're in the right-of-way acquisition part now. We're through our environmental on the 3-way expansion here in front of y'all's place, and so we think that it'll go to bid in January 26, so first quarter 26.
Yeah,
and in
huge.
that case, it would probably be a 90-day mobilization. And so probably next summer we'll have a lot of people saying, "Why are you expanding this road?"
Yeah.
And they'll be upset. And so,
But when it's done, they'll be happy.
we're going to create a traffic jam for a while. But it's about a 1 and 3 month project to get it all completed.
One of our other live chatters says, "What about?" Hear me on this.
Okay.
Oh, God.
What about a Rainbow City bypass, which would create another business corridor for Rainbow City?
That's funny.
Or Rainbow Drive bypass. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but they obviously either read the minds of our city planners and our community planners. That's one of the I guess you would call it catalyst projects that Rainbow City has to have in the next 15 years, and that's an additional northern corridor. Now we don't know where that's going to strike, you know, but because we have one obstacle that we have to deal with, and that's Black Creek. And so you got a bridge project there. So there's and do you want the project to strike over prior to getting to the city of Gadsden, you know, just south, like around Meadowbrook Church? In that case, we know that we've got a corridor already built down Brown Avenue, and that we could do a widening project there. Or is it going to be that we're going to move it up and bring it back into to 759? In that case, it's a bridge project. So there's all of that stuff is now being looked at. There's preliminary drawings even that are being done right now by some consultants that, you know, they want that job. You know, that would be a big job. But they're right. It's kind of cool to hear somebody thinking that far down the road, because that's where we're thinking. You know, as much as we're today and we only get this job for 4 years at a time, we're having to think 20 and 25 years ahead.
Right.
And our master plan is a 50-year plan. So, there's no doubt by the time that plan is fulfilled in whatever its form it is, I'll be dead and gone for sure. Maybe there'll be a restroom at the Vivian named after me or something like
Broom
that.
closet.
Yeah, broom closet. Yeah.
Football stadium.
The Joe.
Yeah, the Joe.
So a nice comment here by Danny Starnes. He said, many Americans go to bed at night worried about their safety. We don't have an issue in Rainbow City. Thank you to all our first responders.
Yeah, Danny was at our meeting last night. Danny, I didn't get a chance to speak to. Danny's on and he's actually on our civilian transportation committee that goes to the MPO.
Oh.
So Danny kind of knows that these things are moving along and kind of helps keep the word out. But, I keep going back to what we're doing in Rainbow City differently than a lot of other cities, whether they're close or far away. We've just added additional camera systems at our intersections to be able to look at our traffic and begin to control just the movement of people, because we have to do that, whether we like it or not. It truly is a rat race, and we have to control that rat race. We've got we were approved about a year and a half ago for a integrated traffic signaling system that's a part of it. It's us, Gadsden, a little bit of Glencoe, and Atala. And for us to be included in that was pretty special, because they know that we're moving a ton of people. When I came into office, we were at about 15,000, 16,000 on Rainbow Drive in a day's time, and now we're at 30,000. So, it just lets you know that there's a lot of good things happening in this region, in Etowah County, and it's something that we have to capture and hang on to. And you can't lean back on your laurels. You can't decide to stop doing economic development just to create fun and festivals. That's not that won't do it. That won't pay for the light bills.
Let's switch it up if we can. Can we switch it up?
Sure.
Because I was told you'd be trying stuff and trying stuff.
Switch it up.
Don't work.
Switching.
Let's talk a little bit of elections.
Whew.
Hello.
Great.
Here we go.
Well, thankfully we've got one, and I do want to put out a little public reminder. The county, the probate judge had to go through and consolidate some polling places to make it a more conducive, controllable environment. I think all of that's good stuff. But one of the things that will happen in Rainbow City, not in our municipal election that's coming up, August 26th, you're going to vote in your polling place, the one that you've been in forever. We're going to continue to do that. Beth Lee is our polling and election official, and she'll be putting out some stuff on social media, on our signage, and just in every possible way, even probably a public announcement.
Yeah.
You're going to vote where you voted. But there's a time coming where we're going to be able to, and I think it's going to be a good thing. It can, there's no doubt it can be inconveniencing at times, but we're going to be able to take our new recreation center and use it as our centralized polling place for Rainbow City. And I believe that it if it doesn't do anything else, it's going to give the voting populace of Rainbow City the ability to walk into their community center, and it might be the thing excuse me, it might be the thing that that brings them out to start participating in their community center. We want participation in our community center. We want our seniors all the way down to our youngest kids to understand that there was a lot of planning went into that building and those events that it can carry out simultaneously. It's a multifunction building. And but our polling place will be there, and we're very excited about that. The probate judge called me and Scott said, "Hey, I'm hearing that you've got this building this community center," and I said, "Well, community center, recreation center," but he said, "Well, is that going to be your new polling place?" I said, "Well, we were hoping you would." He said, "I didn't know anything about it." So
thanks for watching, Scott.
Yeah, way to keep up, Scott.
Wow.
But what we find out is that. As much as we think we've put the word out, we still haven't put the word out, and so we really want to use our center as a polling place so that we can bring more people into the city and show them our wares, show them the things that we're the most proud of.
It's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be unreal. y'all.
Yeah, I'm excited. Very excited. So, only one election here in Rainbow City.
Yes.
It's a city council seat. Not asking who you vote for, Joe. It's not
Yeah.
what we do on this show.
Right.
But it is very, very, very important that I think that the people need to hear from their mayor. Come out and vote.
Yeah, you got to vote. You know,
Yeah.
the greatest fear that we have, and you know, and I hate to say it, it's a little bit of a sidetrack from what I do. I'm not trying to make myself important here, but when you don't have a mayor's election, you have a poor turnout.
That's a fact.
Just
True.
and that's just not the way it should be.
Yeah.
Let me say, and I'll say it this way: the people here had confidence to give me another term. Or obviously somebody or a group of somebodies would be running against me. Please do me a favor as
Yeah.
the person that you put your confidence in. Go out and exercise your right to vote. It's incredibly important. This is I think it's happened a couple other places, but in Rainbow City last time we had a 1-vote decision, and that put Anita Bedwell in place, and Anita has worked tirelessly with me, for me. It's amazing that she'll take on a job that is working for me.
Yeah.
You know, and doing that type of work. But Anita's not going in there this time, but and Jerry Ramsey was going to be her predecessor, or I guess it would be her successor, and that's working out really well. You know, she's been very, very welcoming of Jerry, and Jerry's showing up to our things
Yeah.
so that he can kind of get his feet wet now.
Talk about a high bar, though.
Oh wow, yeah. There's
He
no
better
doubt
bring his
about
A
it.
game.
Yeah, and
He'll
that's
never
the
get
thing about
never
Anita
get
is when she did make her announcement and gave me the call. You know, it hurt my feelings really bad.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because once you've got a cohesive council and a group of people that you're working with, you know, you want to hold on to that.
Sure.
And so, you know, it you know, whether it's Chris or Randy, you know, there's no doubt we're going to work with whoever is put in those places. But I can say this, you know, if you cared enough to tell 3, 4 people, 5 people on that council of 6 that you believed they were the right fit and there was no challenge to their office, you owe it to them to come out and vote in this other election. And I feel that in my heart. You know, it would be easy to stay home on this one, but this one's equally as important as if we had a full slate like Southside does.
Well, especially, almost got me, Joe. Almost got me.
Well, and now you were looking for a segue.
Yes.
I was, but I'm gonna circle back here though.
Star said bring fried chicken. That'll get the turnout up.
Boy, that'll get it.
I'm in on that.
I'm sorry, that chicken leg thing. I'm
Well,
all about a chicken leg.
He said free chicken. To be fair,
He did say
okay.
free. That's he's
yeah.
free.
Well, you went straight to the fried.
Yeah, we gotta
you
get-
want the cholesterol?
Well, here's what I'm doing.
We
I'm
gotta
looking
get-
at this, and there's I got 2 screens, YouTube
Yeah.
and Facebook, and it does say free.
yeah.
Can we get Dodd involved in some chicken? Though?
Oh, especially if you'll provide it, he'll cook
Yeah,
it.
oh,
He's one of
man.
those.
If he does that barbecue chicken about one more time, I don't know what we're
Dude,
gonna-
it's
we're gonna
tremendous.
bring him in the fold.
Yeah, he's coming on in, son. Look, let's just stay right here on the this particular election. Rainbow City, we got the incumbent Randy Weiss.
Yes.
Proud sponsor, man. We appreciate him being a part of what we do.
I'm a
And
fan of white.
Yeah,
Just say
yeah.
and Coach is putting a lot of hard work out. Chris putting a lot of hard work out. We're just now getting to know Chris. The fact is that 2 people want to be a part of what's going on.
Yeah.
Has to make you feel good. These
It
2 dudes
does,
are
and
working
I
hard.
think that's the thing about not having other elections, which, you know, we're all, you know, we have a little sigh of relief when you find out you don't have an opposition,
Sure,
any
sure.
opposition. But, you know, I think one of the things that when you've got somebody that's wanting to run, and both of these guys are this way, they want to run because they want to be a part of what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to say this because I think it needs to be said. We're not in a position where we need a lot of change. You know, there's not a good, you know, we're moving forward. We're a very progressive, cohesive council. We're not arguing on YouTube and mad on our Facebook Live. I'm not saying that we get along
I wish y'all would.
perfectly.
It makes for better
Yeah,
entertainment.
it does make for great
Yeah.
TV, you know, but it's just we're not arguing. You know, we get in and solve our problems like grown-ups. We don't posture and position, and I think that hurts your city. I know it does. I mean, economic developers all over the United States and the world will say that, and I met with some just last week that said, you know, we know what y'all stand for. We know who you are. We've watched your council meetings. Now, if you've got people that are planning to come to your city, that go through the trouble to look at your council meeting, you owe them a nice unified front. I'm not saying that my council are yes men. They're not. You know, there are times when they will say
They like to stir the pot
we're
a
not
little bit.
ready. You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's fair. You know, it's up to me to go back and create or bring back. And normally these are their ideas. They'll say, this is our idea. Can we get this done? Anita Bedwell, number one in doing that. And she'll have her list out and she'll run about 3 things at me and she'll say, you know, what do you think? And I say, let me work on it. And it may be weeks, days, months, and then I have to come back and present them with a product. If it's not close enough for them to all feel good about voting, I go back. I don't present it. There's been several times in pre-council meetings that are open to the public, and you know, everybody talks about they love transparency. You know, I think transparency has got a bad name because what we've decided to do is say transparency is for you to hear me argue and act like a fool.
Yeah.
The truth is that's not what the citizens deserve. No. They put you in place for you to answer the questions and ask the questions and move forward the agenda that needs to be best for the majority. And there are times when we can fit in some things that are very, very, that are small in stature or nature that serve a smaller group, and we need to do that. We do that continuously, you know, by the use of our citizen our community center for Maranatha, and it's some special needs group. It's a very, very small group, but it's critically important that we don't let them fall through the cracks. And so, you know, whether it's a huge community center that's going to serve everyone or the Friday night dance for Maranatha and our special friends, you know, both of those things have to happen. And we have to be very, very sensitive to that. And I think we are. And I think that's why we had so many unopposed. You know, I think it's okay to say that you want to go and run for office, and I encourage that. You know, I never said I didn't want anybody to run against me. I was fine with if they did. They were just going to have their hands full.
Joe encourages a good fight.
I do. I do.
He was
He's
so
done that
disappointed.
every year. So funny. What about the look? I'm concerned with the viewership of your city council meetings coming up this next term on YouTube. The look of y'all's council is fixing to go way down. I mean, right now we can see Anita Bedwell on there, and we're like,
Hey,
this is good.
love this lady.
And now,
Well, I don't know how Jerry cannot take that personally.
Well, he should.
He's gonna
Because
have
he
to.
needs to.
He should. Very personal.
You should.
No, you're right. You know, this is something else. You know, this will be the first time in I don't know how long. It's been years and years and years. And then there was a little small segment of time that it was true back in the maybe 70s, 80s, that there hasn't been a female on our council.
Talk about the
And
perspective, though. Isn't it good to have a perspective?
It is. I think that.
We still got Jerry. It's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's not.
Well, we got Jameson.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. And I mean, and I'm just gonna.
Inspector.
I'm moving along. Yeah. And Inspector. Yes. No, but I think that having that different, just look at things.
Yeah.
You know, Anita Bedwell was so good, and is so good for Rainbow City, and the agreement, and I kind of got sidetracked a minute ago. The agreement that Anita and I had when she just made her decision to leave was that she had to continue to help me.
There's no question
And
she will. She loves this
She
place.
100% agreed to that. You know, she's agreed to do anything that I ask. You know, other than coming to my council meeting, I guess. You know, but no, I think that's just knowing that I have that citizen involvement.
Yeah.
Just helps. You know, because no matter which way this goes, I think either one of these guys will make themselves available for other things. You know, we have boards and planning and board of adjustments and zoning and industrial development, commercial development. We have all of these things that we need people to help us, and they're critical positions.
The a comment here. The Old City Church is looking good. Any information you can give on that?
Yeah, we when you know, everybody knows that, you know, we're a small city, but we're doing some really, really big things. You know, we've got a $15 to $20 million project going out with our recreation center. Not to belabor that and talk about that too much, but then we also have a $6.2 million renovation of our ball fields. You know, we've got 9 fields
huge.
that'll be converted to turf. Allows for that, you know, that practice and play that we've needed so desperately to be able to keep our kids on the surface that they're going to play on, which gives them a higher skill level. We know that now.
Yeah.
And so we're doing that. That included lighting, fencing, backstops. We went to concrete backstops, and so the fields are going to just look like premium service. And so we've got that. That'll finish up towards the end of the summer. I think September is our drop dead date on that. We just really need it to stop raining. Our turf will be here in a couple of weeks, so they'll start rolling out turf. That's probably going to be the biggest eye candy this city will have, is our recreation, which is kind of what most cities try to do. But working past that, you know, we know that we just put in about a mile of concrete lit trail, you know, that extends from our soccer complex out by the Challenger Center back around to our recreation, and that's creating an internal web of bike and pedestrian pathways to allow our people to be outside. It's what we learned in COVID the most, was that people wanted to be outside, and we've created an outside just opportunity for people to go out with their families and friends and enjoy the outdoors.
There's nothing that you cannot do in this city. I mean, that's a fact.
It's-
Except,
Play golf.
there you go.
Can't play golf, yeah,
Dang it.
and we need that. You know, that's something that I'd hoped a developer will eventually come in and they'll find a place to put a big golf course. You know, hopefully out either towards the interstate or down in Riddles Bend. You know, I'd love to see it in my neighborhood. You know,
Bet
we've
you
got
would. Jump on
we've
that
got-
golf cart and just
oh,
ride
good,
over.
ride over and play
What about
18.
the links at Druid Park?
Dude,
Yes,
I'm in.
Why can't we do that?
I'm in.
Yeah.
And Foo will fix all the golf carts and,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you know,
Put their
equipment.
their stuff right.
Yeah,
in
just
the
back it right up to
Smart.
food. Yeah.
Yeah, then
See, we're thinking here.
Then in my backyard,
Yeah.
refresh.
Yeah.
There it is.
You
But
need a cool
The
libation?
drive-through hut.
I got
It's
you.
a brew-through at Jerry's.
I got you.
Yeah, I had somebody send me a text the other day that said, "What's with this sidewalk and the lights out here by the," you know, and I'm like, well, you know, it's a $1.2 million project that we've got very little money in because we used some grant money that was given to us. We're working on another one that's going to extend down to some of the
Interesting.
subdivisions, and then our final connection is going to be over to Park Street Park, so that you'll be able to walk almost from 77 down to 411 at Vivian Maddox Park, or ride your bike, or you know, whatever you want to do. It's going to be a long stroll, so you probably need to pack
Jerry's a
something.
fan of Waylon Jennings. He may drive his lawnmower.
That's right.
Who's that? I don't even know who that is.
Watch for him.
I got out of this. Danny Starn said that Little League lacrosse is a big moneymaker.
I bet.
Yeah, we actually I met with a lacrosse guy probably about 2 months ago. He moved back here from I want to say Nashville, maybe Knoxville, and he came in and started talking about a lacrosse league. You know, we know that we'll have the facilities for that, because one of the things that we did with our soccer field track area out at Rainbow Middle, when it's refurbished and turned into turf, that area will be able to be multifunction. It'll be able to do football, soccer, lacrosse, rugby, and so we know that all we have to do is put those. We've got a computerized lining system that we can put out there, and it'll line off those fields, and we can play whatever sport we need to. So I guess to answer to Danny, I'm ahead of you, Danny.
Well, you got a semi-professional rugby player, female rugby player, living right
On the
here
street.
on Oliver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope, sounds good out there too.
She's no joke.
Knock your head off.
Joe Taylor for governor.
I love it.
Oh boy, yeah.
That's Brett Davis.
Yeah. Oh, Brett, that's my man right there.
Oh, he don't advertise it.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. He's an
Brett
advertiser.
Davis.
Plays 5. Go on, get that vote.
Yeah.
He put it at head height.
Hey, and he'll if somebody's in the way, he'll text you and say, "Hey, get that sign."
Get that sign. Get that sign where it needs.
Hey, Randy, even though he should be teaching, he's texting. He said
He's on break.
he's on break.
He's on break.
It's his planning period.
Yeah, he said we're currently talking with a lacrosse group.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
Part of what he his forte is the mega sportsplex Rainbow City.
It
right?
is, and here's I'll plug Randy right here because I think it'd be wrong not to. When the Sportsplex was the Etowah County Mega Sports Authority, when it began to falter, and it was faltering hard. I mean, it was falling on its face. We were contacted mainly by our legislators, and we had been contacted by the authority itself, and I was unwilling to work with that just because of the fact that it wasn't going in the right direction. And so when that got reconstituted through legislation, Rainbow City became an absolute management partner of that in maintenance and management. And I asked Randy and Clark Hopper both had been on a committee for that sports park, trying to get that turned around. And I asked Randy if he would continue to serve. Clark knew it was time for him to come off. He had mainly worked in the financial side of trying to right that ship, and once it got taken care of, I asked Randy if he would go in there, and he served as the authority chairman. And in this October, the second part of legislation will go into effect, and we will become. It'll become ours.
Heck yeah.
With the ability to have the amount of money that comes in for debt service, and it becomes almost like a neutral funding situation for the city. And I have to credit Randy. Randy was now Randy's he's about the kids. His is about kicking soccer balls, and he'll tell you that I went into a stall position of I'm not going to take something and commit the city to $11 million worth of cost when I can just wait around and it'll be passed over to us. Well, that's one thing that Randy will tell you. I was right, but we got those kids out there as fast as we possibly can, and that took an absolute partnership with that authority, and he was that bridge in creating that partnership.
Chris Smith says Brett Davis is taller than that.
Yeah, y'all are giving Brett a fit. Look, that guy. I'm gonna tell you something.
we
You
love
let
that dude,
him
man.
put that gun around.
Oh
you.
man, he'll
Pop that
Tied up with
head.
you, son. It's over with.
That's right. His daddy got a set of them too.
We ain't
man.
worry about no.
we don't
kid.
care about Keith though.
Look,
We-
man, he still got it. Though.
he is, but so let's talk about the Southside election if we can.
Yeah, I think that's it's interesting. I mean, it's intriguing.
Not the word
to
I was
watch.
gonna
There's
use.
Yeah, it's a show.
It is. It
But,
is. We were just talking about that. We looked up what the Greek word for that was.
It's
earlier.
half of the word. Is that?
Oh, well,
Show.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. So that's
No,
what I'm saying.
I think it's one of those things where if you look at Southside, they've been Dana and I have worked side by side, and we both came in at the same time. Of course, she had council experience, so she kind of knew which door to kick open.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever, but I think we immediately went in to begin to work on the Southside Bridge, and we've made incredible strides. That bridge is going in the air. It's going to happen. I know that because I have meetings with the ALDOT director, and she does too, and then we compare notes, and sometimes we go together. But it's one of the things that I found out early on was that we were just crazy enough to try to be cooperative, and what we found out is that government can cooperate, and
Sure.
when we take our trip to the NLC and we go up on the Hill to talk to our congressmen and senators and the different departments up there trying to find our appropriation money, we go together. That council over there and my council, we go together and we show a community front, a regional front, and that's hard to beat. But that election, I think it shows that people want to be involved in government. It's kind of wild how we don't have any, but
Yeah.
they have all of their positions, up. And I don't know. I don't know what the nature of Southside is, that either somebody's not satisfied. Of course, they had two people that are not running, which
Sure.
really draws a lot of people out to run.
You would think.
And so Don Stewart, who was just an integral part of Southside's government for so long, I hate to see Don go. He was a big help in thinking things through. He's a really, really wise guy, and then also John Hatley, who is just a precious community servant. John Hatley. It's a funny story. John Hatley's dad, Mutt Hatley, was my dad's fishing friend, and he saved my dad's life and
Oh, wow.
my youngest brother's life when they fell out of a boat
Wow.
up in Leesburg, and so I can I credit John Hatley's dad for keeping my dad around
Heck yeah.
for about 45 days. Right after that, he was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, wow.
Because of that accident. We got to finish out and actually got a chance to see my dad turn his life over to the Lord.
Oh, praise God
Yeah.
for that. Heck yeah. That's place 2. He's
Yep.
given up place 2.
Yep, that's right. And that's Jennifer McGriff and Justin Chandler. And
Yeah, we love both of those
Two
people.
great
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
They
I know
both-
Jennifer from, I don't know Justin well, but I know Jennifer from Neighborhood Bridges, and she cold called me, and we've had her on. I've been on the show
Yeah,
with her
yeah.
with doing a Neighborhood Bridges segment, and she came on, and she's bold.
Yeah.
I would speak to Justin, but I don't know him, so it's kind of hard for me to do that. But I can say, having personal knowledge, that Jennifer's the kind of person that's just going to be a community caregiver.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of thing that we need. I think they need that. And, I'm not telling them what they have to have, but
Sure,
I can
sure.
tell you it's working over here.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the first time we met him was on the show.
Yeah.
Um,
Super nice young guy. Super nice. Got a good hat game, doesn't he?
his
Good
hat game's strong.
hat game's strong.
It's strong.
Okay.
But I think everything is really focused on the mayoral election over
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I
And,
mean,
it's a 3-person race.
3-person race is tough. I mean, that almost always puts a runoff in
Yeah.
place, and and at this point, and I have to say this about all the candidates, because there's also a I think place 1
That's
has
right.
3 in it.
That's Kevin,
Kevin
Kevin
Stevens
and
Keith Clay.
Keith Clay.
and Habian.
Yeah.
Fabian,
Yeah.
that's right.
He's coming on the show too.
Okay.
God, he's so busy.
Yeah.
He's a first responder
Right,
guy.
that's right.
and,
Yeah,
but-
he's a gas and firefighter.
Yeah, yeah,
and,
good dude.
Also, he's one of those dual qualified guys. He's a post qualified police officer as well.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I don't know him very well either, but I think what you'll see in those races is that almost always creates a runoff, and every one of these people are exhausted.
Sure.
From going out and knocking on doors and passing out cards and going to events, and I can remember doing that. Thank God we had COVID and it kept everybody inside, because
a
what
benefit.
you had to do then was run a little bit more sophisticated campaign.
Yeah.
This is almost back to that old school campaigning where you've got to knock on doors and press the flesh, and that's just a struggle. You look at Southside in population; they're very close to us. They're within 1,000 people of us, and but a totally different city, so totally different needs, and so it's kind of hard for me to answer to their problems or their questions, because they obviously know what they need, and they'll prove that in that election.
Well-
They'll put the people that they want up there.
We're all going to be at Smoke Neck on the 23rd.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Saturday
Yeah.
morning? Is it a morning? It's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Is it a morning?
I'll say something about.
You got the invitation.
Yeah, come on, man.
You don't even know.
It's a Saturday.
I have to
night.
call you, Joe, and ask you
Yeah,
what
it's
time
a
we're supposed to be
Saturday.
over there.
It's a Saturday before the election on Tuesday.
That's right.
But we had one of those rallies where everybody showed up at Rainbow Middle School, and and I went down there thinking I just wanted to hold my ground. I felt pretty good about my campaign, and when I got down there, I had the opportunity to speak, as well as the previous mayor, and I never expected I would win votes that night. But what it was is it gave people exposure to the candidates, and I'm sure I lost a few, just to be honest with you. But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot left. But what we did find out was that people want to stand with you a moment, and they want to hear your voice and hear what your direction is. And I think that that's one of the things that Southside's doing well, is that they're bringing their candidates out into the public view and letting them be seen.
Chris Smith says it's going to be from 10 to 4.
10 to 4.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Brother,
man.
we charge about an hour.
They're going to have a food truck over there for me.
Apparently they do.
Okay.
Yeah, George is going to take care of everything.
Okay. As
George
long as
is-
they got some
George
food.
is that guy. We got to stop in and see. He wants to stop in and see him.
We got to have food and drink.
I think George is ahead of the game. Let me
Okay.
just say, ahead of the game. Joe, who are you voting for in that election?
I don't vote.
Oh, okay, just make
No.
sure.
I've got one vote
That's
that I
right.
get to cast, and I'll go and cast my vote, and I'll leave that alone. I'm not trying to influence the election.
Yeah.
It's
I was trying to get you to
remaining
influence the Southside election.
Southside election. Well,
I thought that's where you were
Yeah,
going.
That's what I was hoping. You know?
I guess I could go down there if they'd let me.
We could
in the
tell you
door.
who we. Never mind.
Well, I think that it's again one of those things that I'd encourage our neighbors to go out and vote. I mean, they are going to have probably a record-breaking turnout. You just don't have the full slate. Having all of that show up at one time, and the people of Southside, boy, you talk about an exciting time. We had that 5 years ago here,
Yeah.
where we had somebody in every place running. And that's hard to beat. I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun. And the day of the election, it was electric. I chose not to shake a sign. I thought, the hay's in the barn. If I'm not going to win, I'm not going to win. And I don't want to end up hating a bunch of people that passed by me and went in there and voted against me. So I went to lunch. I kind of did a long lunch. And
That's something I can get behind.
yes.
So can Kevin Stevens. He said he's good for a long lunch.
But I think the
Especially today.
the part that I regret for Southside is that they're going to have to. There's probably going to be a runoff somewhere. I don't know if it'll be in the council race or the other, but you've got some strong candidates down there
For sure.
and I think you've got some people that are defending their position that are strong. There's no doubt about that.
Do you think Danny Starnes? Do you see his comments? It's awesome. You'll love it.
Danny's a
He
man.
said, "Can we get Bunchy to run for something?"
Yeah. Look, Bunchy's moving.
I mean,
Story on the street.
moving to Rainbow City.
He's moving out. No, he's moving out of Gadsden and moving out possibly out of the county.
Wow. He's had enough.
I don't know if that's true. It was just a rumor I heard, and from a neighbor of
Wow.
Bunchy. So,
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you something. There's nothing more fun than Bunchy getting involved in a campaign because it is
Hilarious.
hilarious. His Christmas parade thing that he
Epic.
does every year
Epic.
in Atala is too much.
It's great.
He's just a mess.
I want to get your comment on. Go ahead, Jeff. Got a question while I pull this up.
Do we have a question?
No. I didn't know if you had something.
No, I think we're done.
Ah.
Except for what you got to bring up, and I'm excited about.
Well,
it.
it's just your thoughts in general. This is on the what's happening in Gadsden, and Mr. Mabry points out that don't Detroit our Gadsden. I don't know if you read that article or not. And he's really talking about getting all these funds, getting all these grants, getting everything, hundreds of millions of dollars in bonds and whatnot, grants, so forth and whatnot, and end up bankrupting the city like Detroit did. Not speaking on Gadsden, but
Right.
just in general government.
I'll speak to, I guess, the generalized question, which
Yeah.
is how much can a city take? we floated our first bond issue for $15 million. That has, but we earmarked money. And if there's an appropriated amount of funding that goes to those things, you're good to go. I know that in our case, our 15 million is $600,000 a year. In a $20 million budget, that's not an incredible amount of money, but it's a pretty good piece of it. But we knew that we had our money set aside. We also took our money in and were allowed, under it's called the rule of arbitrage, to be able to make interest on that money. And so, while we're paying interest, we're offsetting that by making some interest with some investment documents. And so I think it's a high wire. It's a balancing act for sure. But if you've got good money people behind it, is it possible? Sure, I guess. We know that if we go to the economic development rule, which is called the 772 rule, we can borrow almost more than the value of the city. The city is actually appraised. When you go through a bonding process, and when you're going through that, what you'll find out is that you better be right, because if you're not right, I promise you this, you're going to get yourself unelected, and rightfully so. I don't know. I don't keep up with their books. I used to when I was a firefighter, and but I was a firefighter under Sherman Guyton, and you didn't have to worry about the books.
That's fair.
There was always going to be surplus, and it was because Sherman, he had a different way to look at things, and I think that businessman mentality that he carried over, it served that city well. Here, I inherited from Terry John Calhoun. Terry John was no doubt a conservative financial person. We had to kind of let the reins loose a little bit, and so that we could let our city run. Now, in the increase of doubling our revenue over the last 4.5 years, we did the right thing. But that's the problem with going, kind of sticking your neck out as a mayor and council. When you do, it's a lagging effect. So if you borrow the money now, it may be 5-6 years before if you've wrecked your city. And I'll tell you, I lose sleep over it. Because we have 2 bond issues. We were down to very, very close to having a zero debt. But our bond issuance right now is covered under earmarked money. So we have a 1 cent of our sales tax goes nothing but to infrastructure and catalyst plans for the city.
Yeah.
So we know we've got ours covered. I don't know how other people do that.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe I said a lot to say nothing.
Well, it's obviously important
Yeah.
to some people over there.
Well, I think that I think the concerning part is when somebody says call something Detroit, because that's tough
That's
right
a
there.
bad-
And I'm not saying one way or another whether he's wrong or
Sure.
not. It sounds like he's absolutely worried,
He is.
and I think it's a fair worry.
But he also said that one of the reasons he brought Detroit up is because Steve Gazin is using a bond company, Stifle,
Yeah.
that is instrumental in working in that Detroit issue. So I think maybe that was the connection he was making.
Could be. I know one of those guys. I can't call his name. He's got a really different last name, but that's one thing about bonding companies is when they're selling a product. They're selling their wares, so to speak, to you, and you have to be real careful because they. And I'm not saying that this is what's going on.
Sure,
I'm
sure.
just saying that you have to be real careful to make sure that you do your due diligence alongside theirs. And those 2 pieces of puzzle have to match.
Yeah.
And they have to match and interface perfectly. And without that, there's something missing. And we used a different company. We used Fraser Lanier on our first bond issuance, and then we were able to go to a local bank and use Exchange Bank for our second bond issuance.
yeah.
Thrilled to death about that. Now, I didn't realize when we went into our first bond issuance that we could have done that locally. Had I known that, Exchange Bank would have been probably both of ours because
Proud sponsor
Yeah.
of the Joe Taylor Show.
Oh well, good. I did not know that.
What's up, Chris?
Look at me right here. But I think that's the thing about bonding is scary. It's scary and look, I don't think there's a council member on any council anywhere that just thinks that should ever be a rubber stamp. They're being given an amount of information to absorb that's an incredible amount to digest, and it's hard. Anybody that sits in these positions that are they're low paid positions, we do it out of service and service obligation to our city. You've got to know that puts a lot of pressure on them to know that for the little bit of money that they receive, that they can create havoc, and they don't want to do that. I know a lot of the council members. Well, I know most of all the council members in this county,
Yeah.
and our surrounding counties as well, and the mayors for sure. And I don't take that lightly. I'm really good friends with Scott Reeves and Chris and Dana and Larry Means and all of them. I don't know a couple of the smaller towns as much as I probably should.
Yeah.
But it's tough to make that decision, to put your city on the hook for 30 years for something that you've got to make sure it's not just one of your little hokey ideas.
Last thing for me, Glencoe's got a mayoral election too.
They
Pretty
do.
important.
They do. Chris Hare is the Glencoe out, and I will say this: I've worked with Chris and his council. They are a shining light to government.
Yeah.
And again,
Even Jeff Little?
yeah, the dude, did he ever come get his sunglasses?
Nope.
No, we got him hid.
Yeah, I don't.
We're
know
gonna put him on our doll we're making for Marco Bryant for doing the Marco Bryant show.
I will say this: I was disappointed that Jeff is not going to continue his service out there. Now, look, there's no doubt that's his decision to make. He makes that all for the right reason. But
Sure.
Jeff was good for that council.
I agree.
Chris Hare is a great mayor. He's well respected all over the state of Alabama, and that's the thing about being in our sized cities is that when we go other places, we tend to sit in the same room, and sometimes at the same table. And when you hear Chris talk about his Glencoe and his patriotic city, I'm telling you, it's refreshing to hear somebody love their city like I love mine.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys.
all I
Mayor
got.
Joe Taylor, thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Jerry White, thank you, sir.
That never happens.
Rainbow City,
Boy,
we love you.